This just into CBS Sports HQ. We are putting the finishing touches on Indiana's 38-15 loss to second-ranked Ohio State, which takes them out of the undefeated ranks in college football. Big win for Ohio State in terms of their quest to get to the Big Ten title game. They need to win out in order to do that. And we'll find out what the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, how they view Indiana losing their first game this season by the scoreline 38-15. Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti speaking after the game.
That's where the game really changed, I'd say, is around that point. We couldn't protect the quarterback. We had communication errors in pass pro. Every time we dropped back to pass, something bad happened. And it seemed like we were in that end zone to our left for 5 years. It was like a nightmare. We dropped a punt down back there. And really, we were fortunate to go into halftime only 7 points down. And they've been a great third-quarter team, Ohio State. Couldn't get anything going still on offense. They had a big punt return, you know. So I was proud of the way we fought back and got it to within 2 scores there, 31-15. But didn't like the fact that we gave up the run and the easy touchdown at the end. But they won. They deserved to win. They're a terrific football team. And coupled with the noise, it made it a very, very challenging day for us. And I give them nothing but credit.
That is Curt, just I recognize you can't watch film yet, but you talked about really struggling in particular pass protection. What was Ohio State doing that your mind just kind of couldn't solve?
Nothing we haven't seen on tape. We practiced all week long. I think you couple it with the noise and having to go to a silent count because center couldn't hear, and then the speed at which they do it at compared to our scout team, and the pressure of the moment, our guys just didn't respond very well. And sometimes we had missed assignments, sometimes we had communication errors, sometimes we got physically beat. But it wasn't very pretty.
Isn't that your team has obviously built a lot of confidence and played that way? You feel this game you were having a harder time, guys having that turning point in the second quarter, kind of putting plays past you at halftime, feel like they didn't blame it at all?
No, I think we came out. I felt good at halftime. And here's how I felt. We were down 14-7, fortunate to be only 7. That's how I felt. And all we had to do is get our feet back on the ground and kind of settle the game down a little bit. And that the longer the game went, the pressure then would shift to them if we could stay, within striking distance. But then they had those scores, and we just couldn't respond. We did start to get a little ground game going, but, we'd call pass and get sacked and get way behind the chains. So I was proud that we scored that last touchdown, and made the 2-point conversion, 31-15. You're kicking an onside kick. Now, who knows, but then, so I mean, that's that.
Special teams have been solid all year. You have to drop online games, and then you kick it back out of the cover for a touchdown. I mean, just, I guess, how deflating is that? How frustrating is it to drop touchdowns?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. 14 points. I mean, we went into the game plus 10 in turnover ratio, and those are like turnovers, right? Ohio State was plus 4 going in, so the drop punt is definitely like a touchdown. And the punt return, there may have been, a couple nicks in the back that weren't called, but still. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good football. Yeah. We didn't handle the noise very well. We just didn't. And they're an excellent football team. And, I didn't think we played our best game today. But I think a big part of that was because of them.
Playoffs?
What about them?
Do you think your team deserves it?
I don't make those decisions. I think it's probably more important right now that I focus on our next game, a big in-state rival against Purdue, who Indiana hasn't beaten in how many years?
19.
Since 19. I think that needs to be everybody's focus.
Any thoughts on the scoring that last
No, he's got to do what he has to do for his team.
Rick in front.
The very first drive, you guys were able to move the ball. What changed from that point on?
Yeah, good question, and it's hard for me to recall series 2 and 3. What happened after that, because I think we had some opportunities. We got down in that end zone, that corner of that end zone. Seemed like we were down there. It seemed like we were down there for a quarter and a half, and they were just teeing off on us. And I don't know if it was the silent count and the trigger by the guard, where they were able to time up some blitzes. We couldn't protect the quarterback, and we were probably throwing the ball a little bit more, didn't try to run the ball. We didn't get anything going on offense. That's really what happened. For probably 5 or 6 series, we got nothing done on offense.
Rabbi, you, Sammy?
Yeah, what were say? Was it just the blitzes? Was it when you look at passing yards, especially when you subtract that? Was that just the blitz package, the rush? Was it things you didn't see?
It becomes a combination of everything. It kind of snowballs on you. One time it's this thing, next time it's that thing.
Sam on your left and Seth.
Oh, shoot, the defense played pretty well. What can you take away from that going on throughout the game?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so, too. I mean, there were a few moments I know the defensive coaches aren't real pleased, but I thought overall, they got some guys now on offense, that can make plays. And, if you take out that last long run, right, when it was 31-15, and basically they're just running 4-minute offense right there, and we didn't never running a wedge play, and the guy spits it for 39 yards down to about the 1. You take that run out of there, they're under 300 yards total offense. Not bad. But now offense.
Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti speaking after Indiana's 38-15 loss to Ohio State in Columbus. Just a quick recap. Cignetti gave Ohio State all kinds of credit, said they deserved to win, said the noise really made it challenging for his team. They had to go to a silent count, and the speed of execution of Ohio State and the pressure of the moment certainly did something with his team. But he said now it's about turning the page, focusing on Purdue, which is coming up next week, a team they haven't beaten since 2019. Indiana managing just 151 total yards on the day. And you heard Cignetti allude to it at the end of his comments there. Ohio State over 300 yards. They finished with 316.